All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Hibike Euphonium, Season 3, Episode 3.
All right.
Go.
The next piece begins.
Indeed. And the next piece of drama, maybe? Hopefully not. I hope not. You have enough on your plate.
I think we've seen that primarily with things being focused around Kumiko's president role being the drama right now. I think the actual piece being decided will start the next little bit of drama. We did get a tiny schedule about what's yet to come here, so I think that next part of things will be brought up here. And given that this isn't, this is, Hibike Euphonium, it's going to be a rather, regular short season. We could get into this rather quickly and all of a sudden too.
Yep.
So I'm ready for it. So,
Me too.
Y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
滝先生からサンフェスの衣装の注文表もらった？データは去年のやつの流用だけど、それよりクミコはどうなってるの？どうって？進路。
Oh, that.
Yeah.
考える余裕ないよ。音大にしたらあんな風に決めていいもんじゃないでしょ。覚悟だっているし。私は音楽続けてくれたら。
Aww.
何その感じ。
Yeah, what was
嫌
that?
じゃん。あ、部長、おはようございます。
What was the like?
ハリーがコンクールの曲練習したい？みんなで全国目指してるんだから。志が高すぎ新作。それもう突っ込まないから。2年後は部長かな。ねえ部長。いやまだ先の話でしょ。
Yeah, best not to think about that.
Yeah.
から言われても。はい。そうですけど。わけですよ。誰が娘？
Yeah, she clocked that.
Yeah.
地面に平行になるのを意識して。サックスの河本さん、足が上がってません。今年の自由曲はかなり攻めてる。だから練習についてこられない子をフォローしてる時間はないと思う。でも私は落語者を出したくない。
やめたいって言われたら俺は止められん。
それ、優しさだと思う。ホルンの竹川さん、また足が合ってない。ずれたら後ろの子が危ない。前にも言った。すみません。一度列から出て。すみません。それから UFO のハリアさんも動きがぎこちない。はい。集中して。もう一回通してやります。はい。
It is a good thing Rain is the one on that job, though,
Yeah.
because it probably wouldn't get done otherwise.
レーナって何でも様になるね。クミコも似合ってる。ありがとう。心配せずとも。クミコ先輩もかなでちゃんもね。
I know. Yeah.
シャツちょっと小さかった
Oh
みた
my
いな。
gosh. Of course.
変えてもらえるから。ああ、ロエ先輩、男性に好かれそうなタイプですよね。
Why do you say that?
可愛いし、私よりもベクトルが違うから。
How diplomatic.
Yep, uh-huh.
今日は猫って感じだし。にゃん。
Yeah.
シリーズ。
Wow.
なんですそれ。みどりちゃんが動物に。
Ah, what are your animals? Yes.
今日高坂先輩は。レーナちゃんは白蛇かな。
Holy shit.
あとカホちゃんはアルパカで。
Okay.
Uh-huh.
ペンギン。
All right, I see it.
スズメちゃんはパンダさん。
All right.
Yes. Yes.
じゃあ、ママちゃんはまゆちゃんはクラゲかな。
A jellyfish.
ように見えるけど、うっかり刺されたらピリッ。
Oh.
刺されないようにしてくださいね。
Zzz.
部長、ちょっといいですか？
Oh, who are you?
It's gonna be about...
あるのっておかしくないですか？サリーとか毎日残って練習してるのに。一緒にサボってるわけじゃないんでしょ？それはそうですけど、うまくないんだったら自主練しますよね。その気持ちはわかるけど。
Can't make you do that.
私も声かけてみるよ。ありがとね。真剣に考えてくれて。
Hey.
あれ、
Oh.
サリー、残っていかないなんて珍しい。
Right, she doesn't exactly have the motivation to keep trying so hard if...
今日も一番乗りですね。
ありがとうござい
And
ま
this
す。
is probably a good thing to get Taki's advice on, you know.
やることがたく
It's
さんあ
like,
りますから
hey,
ね。
what's the...
Holy.
Oh,
Hasn't even
Yeah.
eaten yet.
お前さんは大人になりたいとは思わないですか？
なりたいというか、 予想がつかないというか。
なりたい気持ちの方が大きかったですね。仕事もできて周りから尊敬されるような人間になれると、今の自分はどちらかというと
Yep.
子供の延長線上な気がします。
That happens.
自分が大人か子供かというのは周りの環境によって決まると思います。
That's wisdom right there.
Yeah.
So what kind of environment are you creating, Kumiko? Yeah.
先生に時間取らせたら悪いでしょ。
So,
私だって全然話してないのに。
Reina, you know the thing that you said to...
Yeah, not do.
Yeah.
高坂先輩もですか？うん。おはようございます。
Hey.
お前先輩。先輩は楽しいですか？先輩、ちょっと相談があるんですけどいいですか？サリーは先に練習してて。私に高坂先輩と二人きりになるって。サリー、すみません。私練習行ってきます。実は部長と副部長って付き合ってるんですか？
What a dumb question.
That...
あれは絶対付き合ってるって。そんな話。
Yeah.
If it's not about club
二人で
stuff...
ラブラブ歩いてたし、実質夫婦。待って、飛躍しすぎ。じゃあ付き合ってない？本当に。面白いことになりそうだったのに。冗談って言うからなんだと思ったら、今のは単なる世間話で。
Okay, I do actually...
別にあって。
Right.
This
We're changing
animation.
topics here.
もしかしたら気づいてるかもしれませんけど、このまま行くと1年部活ボイコットしますよ。言う方が正しいかもしれません。ほら、高坂先輩って初心者にも同じくらい厳しいから。
Uh-huh.
レイナが怖がられてるってこと？いえ、むしろ経験者には好かれてる。だから1年の中でも意見が割れてる感じで。
Even if they're not scared of her, they might be intimidated, and then that might make them think, I don't belong here.
Jeez. Here it is. Here's our drama.
Yep.
Yep. I just want to sleep and breathe and...
Yeah, yeah.
レイナはレイナで一生懸命レベル上げよう。
Oh.
みんな上手くなりたいんだよね。何かしようとする間もなく、
Oh, shit.
それは起きてしまった。
And Sunfest is in 7 days? Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
事件ですよ、事件。
Ah!
絶対に事件です。でもスズメちゃんもカホちゃんも弥生ちゃんも同じ日に休みなんて。サリーちゃんが休んでるらしくて。じゃあの4人全員ドラの子が言うには風邪をひいたってことらしいんです。もしかしたらこのままやめちゃうかも。なんとなくそんな感じだったって。一応住所もらってきたんですけど、1年生係として話。わかった。
I wonder if Mayu has insight to this since she worked at a powerhouse school or attended.
ごめんかなでちゃん。あとお願いできる？もちろんです。そんなに大げさにすることかな。普通にあることでしょ。そんなにしなくても。辞めたい子は辞めて部活から解放されるし、その子を気にせず演奏に集中できるようになる。むしろいいことなんじゃない？たかが部活なんだし。
Right.
無理してしがみつくものじゃない。
Like, it's a free decision of whether or not you're going to go for gold. And if people decide differently...
先輩らしくない過激な発言だと思っただけです。あ、ごめんね。たまにこういうところあって気にしないで。
It is just a club.
Uh-huh.
神社とは。あ、ムクロジの木ですね。部長、あれ、ここってサリーちゃんの家じゃないの？サリーの家です。私たち。じゃあサリーちゃんもここにいるってことだよね。はい、奥で休んでます。そんなに悪いの？サリーちゃん。すみません。クミコ。
Yeah.
あ、いや、なかったんだけど。ごめんね。あ、いえ。実はね、先輩どうぞ。
Oh.
ありがとう。ピアノ？お、サリーちゃん。すみません、心配かけてしまって。 なんだ、本当に体調悪かったんだね。
もう熱も下がりましたし、ただの風邪だと思うので。
取り越し苦労でしたね。もうさっちゃんが事件だ騒ぐから。
Uh-oh.
そんなことになってるんですか？
いや大丈夫問題ないよ。
Just rest.
サリーちゃん、少しだけ話させてくれないかな。私とサリーちゃん2人で。
Yeah, I think she'd like that because she
Yeah.
had her conversation interrupted earlier.
Right.
ここで話したことは誰にも言わない。もちろん先生にも。だから正直に話してほしいんだ。悩んでること。ダメ。先輩、高坂先輩と親友バリエナのこと。
Yeah.
高坂先輩のことが憎いとか嫌いとかそういうんじゃないんです。
Just why is she so...
むしろ高坂先輩は正しいんです。全国で金を目指すならこれくらい厳しくて当たり前だって、でも必要なのってコンクールメンバーですよね。そんなに頑張る必要あるのかなって。
Only the people that are actually going to be competing.
私
But we don't
それで
know.
もずっとやめないでって止めてきたんです。
We don't know who they're going to be.
頑張って結果出せば楽しくなるって。でもどんどん練習厳しくなって、
Yep.
初心者の子それ見ると私
Oh. It's just that simple.
Right.
She's just feeling their feelings, and it's
It's a lot.
it's a lot. Yeah.
サリーち
That's just good basic human empathy, you know? I get overwhelmed too. Talk about it. Yeah.
ありがとう。
Yeah.
サリーちゃんのおかげでまだ一人も辞めてないよ。1年生だって抜けてない。
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
ゃん。でもそれがいいこととは。正直言うとね、初心者の子は別にした方がいいんじゃないか。練習方法を変えた方がいいんじゃないか。部員全員程度の差こそあれ、上手くなりたいって気持ちはあると思う。たかが部活でっていう人もいるかもしれない。始めた以上、私たちは高校生活の大半を部活
Right.
Yep.
There's next year and also the camaraderie that's built in this moment. Yeah. You inspire each other.
やってよかったって思ってほしい。その思いは全員一緒。水を差しちゃいけないと思うんだよね。きっとサリーちゃんの気持ちでみんな励まされてると思うよ。
でもこのままでもいいってことですか？
それだよ。
Yeah.
もちろんそうは思わないよ。
Right.
吹奏楽部ってさ、人多いし経験者もいて考え方もいろいろあって
Yeah, different philosophies even. Yeah.
すごく
It
難しい
is so satisfying to see Kumiko in this role and in this position.
部長って多分そんなみんなのいろんな気持ち
Right. And you're doing a great job.
全部私のところに持ってきて。
But that is a lot, though. You're going to need to delegate, Kumiko.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
サリーちゃん個人の悩みでも他の1年生の問題でも全部話してよ。きっとみんなどこか似たような悩み抱えてると思うから、ちゃんと話せばなんとかなるんじゃないかって私は思ってる。
All right. You just won her heart over.
だって
All of them.
目指してる場所は
Yeah.
同じだから。
All right. Yeah.
私、あの人が部長でよかった。
Nice.
そっか。それで何話したの？大したことじゃないよ。
Yeah. Nothing happened. Nothing at all.
Yep.
で、才能ある子好きですよね。あ、なんかわかる。ですよね。
Well, they're not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
吉井さんたちが先に持っていきました。
Whoa.
そうですか。
Already. First one here.
Cool.
Oh, yes.
おはよ
Oh, and she runs up to her. Yeah.
Thanks for
う。よろ
yesterday.
しくお願いします。
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
久美子先輩になら打ち明けられるんじゃないかと思って。
それ狙ってわざと私に
Right.
話したの。
Right.
はい。あと みんな心配すると思ったの
Right.
で
You ski-knived a little bit. Yeah, just a
Uh-huh.
little bit of
Right.
little bit of manipulation, you know.
見かけによらないと思って
Right. They might be a
Yeah.
bit immature. Huh.
What's that
What
supposed
does that
to
mean?
mean?
I'm
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
Yeah.
But look at me. How can you judge me
次の曲が
incorrectly?
始まるのです
I know I look amazing, so you
So if you were to judge me
judge me
wrong,
by my cover.
yeah,
damn it.
judge
It's
me
a-
by my
it's a
cover.
damn good cover.
I worked really hard on my cover.
Yeah, yeah. You're a great leader, Kumiko.
Yeah.
Way to go.
But there are still the underlying issues of if she
Yes.
overburdens herself.
Right.
By-
Well, and that's where I think one, Reina, don't be hypocritical about the stuff that you know. Don't burden Kumiko. Hey, Kumiko, here's a burden for you.
Yeah.
But I think if she's setting that up as the thing, then everyone else can also work to help support her.
Right. Yeah, it's going great. This is good.
When they talked about the boycott the club and then she was lying in her bed, I was so worried that it was going to be like, hey, Kumiko, so your dad and I want to talk to you about, right?
my God.
Just both at the same time. But no, because this one wasn't actually that bad,
Yeah.
which means we can still save that ammo of the parents for the actual worst time.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
Really
Wonderful
cool
episode. Yep.
They touched on some really cool things that are hyper specific to them being a wind ensemble club.
Mm-hmm.
And then some other things that are just good for when you've got a group and you're all working on a project together,
Yep.
or you've got a team sport or a team organized kind
Mm-hmm.
of setup. Yeah, these kinds of dynamics are going to come about. And the fact that Kumiko is now seeing them from the leadership role side of things, I'm very proud of the growth that she's come on as a character.
You handled this so well.
To also insert herself in a way that is not apologizing for other things, but more celebrating the communication as
Yes.
it happens, because it takes a lot of effort and courage to initiate these things for the younger high school club members.
I'm glad you brought that up because I really did like how she backtracked off of the apology.
Yeah.
Because
One of my favorite little subtle moments in the
because
episode. Yeah.
when you're in a position of leadership, apologies aren't actually helpful all the time. Sometimes they are, right?
Yeah.
But oftentimes that just ends up making people worried, right? So instead doing the yes, framing it as a positive. Thank you, right?
Right.
So often an apology can be turned into a thank you. And so way to go with that. I love that little detail. And yeah, now you have people that are passionate, who were strangers, but now don't just believe in the club and are invested in the club, but they believe in you. And that's huge. That is the definition of being a leader, right? So it's not just going to be that you their situation is resolved, but they will also either by osmosis or direct action help with some of the other issues in the club.
Exactly.
Right? So good job.
You did a really good job here.
Yeah.
This was a very natural, I would say, situation to come about, given that they had such a large influx of first years.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of surprised it had taken this long to actually get brought up. But the idea that because they didn't have the typical drama of the first season of this with regards to people then realizing, I didn't really want to commit to doing this way. We didn't have the quitting situation that happened then, but we had the threat of it in some ways from a bubbly gossiper who's saying, hey, by the way, do you know that it's kind of a little bit feeling like there could be a mass resignation of sorts? And then Kumiko's just like, fuck, and just starts spiraling. But then it's no, actually what this more is that you're pushing everybody at the same level.
Right.
Which is not realistic for what we're actually wanting to output as a group here. At some point, we're going to literally split up between people that are actually competing and those that are not.
Right.
And when we make that decision there will be very different practice that we go on here. So, the marching band part of it, let's get everybody practicing that.
Yep.
Totally. But for the kind of stuff that this will segue into, yeah, it can be really intimidating to be a first year that might have no experience in this whatsoever and being told, get out of line.
Right.
You have nothing that you're doing right here. You
And
know?
the thing is, for me, what stands out about that, or would stand out about that to me if I was in this situation, because I have been in a situation very similar to that.
Sure.
There is a difference between being, and it might not be immediately obvious, focused on being the best you can for an objective versus being the best you can for the purpose of training everybody.
Sure.
Right? Because this is objective oriented. We need to be the best we can for this thing. And so if you don't make it, well, we can't work with you right now. This is a group practice, right?
Yep.
Which totally makes sense.
That's realistic.
100% makes sense.
Yep.
But if you say throw people into a group practice when they're very new to the whole thing, let's be real. It's not just about whether or not their feelings are hurt because you're being harsh. It's about whether or not this is even like functional practice, because they might not be at the point where they're like, they know all of the fundamentals. And then it's like, you're asking me to do something that I like, it's not about how hard I try or something. I actually can't give you what you want. And this isn't helping me learn. Right. Yeah. So that's
part of it is curricula, like what you actually give out as far as them practicing on their own.
Yep.
But then when it comes down to the group practices parts, there's only so much actual time that they can do group practices.
Right.
Which is why I'm surprised they haven't done a thing where they're like, all right, everybody, when you're doing individual practices, you're not allowed to practice individually. I need you to grab at least one or preferably two other people, and then you practice all together on your own scheduled time.
Right.
That's important. One of the things that this made me think of is that I have had a lot of times where I get really frustrated with people that don't do individual practice.
Oh, yeah.
And then they come to the group environment side of things, and especially a sports dynamic, and they go, why am I getting cut, or why am I not, getting basically put into...
Yeah, why aren't you adjusting to me?
Why aren't you adjusting to me? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, how many hours are you putting in a week?
Right, you're not adjusting to the group.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I've had, over probably about 10 years at this point, been around and been one time in the assistant kind of leader position, where it's you have to talk to the person and be like, hey, this is what we're going for. In the Frisbee side of things, basically, this is what I'm talking about, where we basically don't choose like nationals or something like that.
Right.
But we basically say, hey, within the next couple of seasons, we want to move up a whole league ranking as far as the pool of teams that we're up against.
Which is a big deal.
And it's the thing of like, what are you doing currently in order to make yourself someone that would be at that level?
Right.
And the player's like, well, how can you ask me a question like that? It's like
it's not a rhetorical or accusatory question.
It's not accusing. I'm just wanting to know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because we do group things and stuff like that.
Right.
But then it's what are you doing on your own time? If you're not doing anything, then it's like, hey, we're just going to ask that once we move up to the B League side of things, was kind of the example of what we're talking about here, we're going to need you to basically be a sub. Like,
sure.
Yeah. That's just the way it is. And I've seen that conversation happen, been a part of one of those conversations, and it's not fun, because
it's not fun, but also at the same time, like that is not the most uncomfortable conversation there could be, right?
It could be way worse. But it's very uncomfortable for people that aren't thinking that there's going to be much asked of them in those kinds of environments, because for the first time they'd be like, oh, wait, yeah, I do want to improve, but I don't know actually what that's going to take.
Right.
And so it can be fun to be the person who I typically fall into the encourager role, kind of like Sally Chan here in that regard, where I'm like, okay, so come with me to these pickup games, come with me to these other sides of things here, and we'll get you like thousands of reps in, basically. So you're going to be like way more competent at the baseline. Your top end, you're going to have to work on that yourself. But your bottom end, where it's like at the bare minimum fundamental stuff, your fundamentals will be nice and solid.
Yeah.
So you'll be way more reliable as a player. But
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's something that I very heavily relate to the people who are in her position, because I have actively avoided all sports environments that go into that kind of extreme stuff
Sure.
of what Reina's talking about.
Yeah.
Because
at that point it's work, basically.
well, right. It's something that channels a different kind of passion. I would call it the difference of like giddy passion versus like angry passion.
Yeah.
Like angry of like, I am mad at my past self not
Right.
setting me up better in order to be in where I'm at now. So I'm going to focus that into my present self so that my future self can be happy with my past self.
It's not the good vibes enjoyment, it's the competitive enjoyment.
Right.
You know?
It's the like, rah, 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 you know, like
I'm going to crush my enemies. And,
I'm going to crush myself in
taste
order
their
to
tears.
mold myself into
Right.
who I need myself to be. Yeah.
Yeah. The experience that I had with that was in fencing. So I was starting longsword, and I'd been doing foil up until now because that's where everyone, like in the school, that's where everyone starts just to learn the fundamentals, right? But going from longsword to foil is very different.
It's extremely
You're not
different,
on just one line, and you're like using two hands and doing like cuts and things like that. It's very different. And when I started doing longsword, I was the only new longsword person.
Oh.
Everyone else had been doing it for a while, right?
Right.
And so they were coming in and doing these, and I was doing these things, and I just the brain synapses were all not there, right? Because I'm like, this is how does this move, right?
Right.
And I just couldn't keep up with the things that they were doing. And if it was a situation like this, I would absolutely just be like, okay, cool. Well, we're just going to work with these people. You keep practicing on your own, right? And the thing is, that would make total sense.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't actually help me improve because I was not actually getting anything from when I was in those group lessons because I wasn't able to keep up. And so then it ended up being something where one person that was more experienced came over and started helping me one-on-one. But like, the math doesn't add up from the standpoint of the group whole because that more experienced person might be able
not getting as many reps in with the group.
Well, sure, that too. But just maybe not helping the bigger group with things because they're helping the person that's, falling behind.
Well,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like they're not supporting the group's vision or getting. Oh, I guess you're drawing the distinction
versus
between
individual improvement.
Their individual improvement. I see what you're saying.
But it's not either of those, right? And so that's what the actual goal and focus and motivation and driving philosophy of the organization that you're in gets actually really important there, even though that's like really digging into specifics. And so it totally makes sense that with a bunch of first years, you could have them be like, yeah, we're going to go for nationals, gold, all that stuff.
Sure.
Wait. This school will get gold, not we will get gold. Right? You know, like whether we're in that that's very much up for debate.
Right.
Yeah. And that's something that needs to be acknowledged, and people might not necessarily like that.
Right. It's the kind of the thing of where Hazuki, for instance, didn't compete at all.
Yep.
For her first 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And it would make total sense for someone in that position, like she's the Genki type character, so of course she's like, all right, well, this means I'm going to try harder. But first year high schooler, if they're just trying hard for something in general, good job, right? That's more than most would do. But to be like, no, even though it might not be for anything, right? It might not mean anything. Yeah, I'm still going to do it. That's a lot tougher.
Yeah. I do like that Kuroi, or Mayu, was bringing up the idea of like, I think we just let them go because it's a club and they're free to make their choice or what have you. But that's going to give us more time to focus on our stuff here. Kind of bringing up your point a little bit of like, the math is better this way.
Right.
And it's not like we're, maybe it's a little bit of a different thing to say this, but it's, I think I could read into this a little bit more. It's these are first years. We're not like in some like great indebted relationship with them. These aren't people that have been around here for a while quitting because of like fundamental systemic issues.
Right. If they decide that it's not for them, totally makes sense.
We're not saying that you're flaky by quitting. We're just saying that you guys are kind of the acceptable losses of what happens when you commit to go for something big.
And even like, and that's a very understandable kind of like cutthroat approach to it. But even without that, when you think about like just a relationship, right? I don't know if I want to be in this relationship anymore. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Let me know if anything changes, right? Like, that in a lot of ways probably makes the people that do decide to stay feel more free in their decision to stay. Because if they decided that they were like, this isn't for me, I want to leave, that's okay.
Freer in their decision to stay. So.
Yeah, because the big problem that I would see is if you have something like this where a bunch of people are like, oh, we're maybe going to leave.
Right.
And you do the thing to try and convince them to stay.
Yes.
Let's say you convince them to stay, right? In that they stay at the club, but it's kind of like they feel pressured to stay. That's not necessarily an energy that you're going to want, regardless of performance and all that stuff, right? Like, you don't want that to spread around or catch, right? Like, that's the way that you manage to keep the lightheartedness to have the balance for what Rain is doing that's necessary, right?
Yes.
It's we're totally going to be like going hard and like, all right, come on, soldier. But also at the same time, this is just the club. So don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll do what we'll have to do, but, that's a separate thing.
That's a separate thing, yeah.
But
I love Kumiko in the role of saying, hey, yeah, toss your issues, your conversations, all that on me. I can take it. I think that is exactly the kind of problem that she should have for this third year, given the way that they've structured the story and the way her character has grown. But it's going to be fun because I want to see the other thing that will naturally come about from this, other than the other kinds of drama we've already predicted.
Sure.
Is the going back and talking to previous third years and being like, hey, what did you do exactly and behind the scenes when this kind of stuff just started piling up? Be like, we panicked and went and grabbed, tea. We ate French fries together and just
we
kind
yeeted
of
Asuka
commiserated.
at the problem.
That's like, accurate though. I mean,
like,
it's not wrong,
right.
But
and that's where and in this situation, Reina is kind of their Asuka. But she's not going to cover everything. She's a hammer.
Right.
Not everything's a nail. And so that's why, you're important here, Kumiko. And if this ends up being too much, great. But accepting that high level of responsibility, awesome. That will make everyone else feel so much better. And then when it gets to that point that's too much, all right, now deal with that. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to ask to help out and help ease the load, right? But you got this.
So solid. And then even our goofy Suzume, revealing that she's like, yeah, I kind of orchestrated all the other people to do their thing.
Been scheming
to make sure that this got the right response and was taken as seriously as possible. And it's like, oh, I thought she was kind of ditzy and dumb.
Right.
Maybe,
you cheeky little dickwaffle.
Yeah. Maybe she's got a little bit of a noodle, something going on up there that allows her to be genuinely helpful.
Yeah.
Despite so are you and Tsukamoto dating? And it's like,
right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's
right
so
now?
not important. Yeah. That she could actually probably be really helpful with the other first years in general, even if she doesn't know them that well. In the like, hey, you're doing this scheming thing.
Yeah.
One, that almost gave me a heart attack, so please don't do that
again.
Don't
do that ever again. Yeah.
But two, if you could do that scheming in a way that doesn't give me a heart attack and in fact helps, that'd be great. Like there was the whole talk of like if I forget the girl's name, if she was going to be like the president, in her third year, because she's the first year right now.
Yeah.
If she is, this girl's Suzume is probably going to be the
that was
vice
Sally
president.
Chan. That was the one that was having the
right,
problem.
that was Sally. Yeah.
I do want to say though, it is really funny to see Suzume being used as a character in this way, because as someone that's worked in customer relations. There is a weird kind of thing where the same customer is usually the one with all the problems. And no matter what you do, they're the ones that will kind of grab your ear and just pull on it, even if you've solved all their problems.
Right, they're very good at the whole leaky faucet gets fixed thing, or squeaky
wheel.
No,
they just are yappers. They're just yappers. This is not they have a genuine problem. They just want someone to talk to. I swear to you, there is a type of person that for whatever reason, they already have the answer to their own problem, but they just want to yap. And Kumiko, the patience you have to deal with this kind of yappening
happening. I love it.
Is amazing. For whatever reason, this is my like discriminatory side of me. For whatever reason, if you are a yapper when you have like you have the whole thing solved and you haven't talked to like anybody, you haven't Googled it once, you know, it's hard for me to not do what Kumiko kind of did in her head and kind of misjudged Suzume.
Yeah,
because it is so funny. Just a random little thing tirade
just
about
personal
my customer
Caleb rant.
Yeah, my customer service life or what have you. That was just like, yes, myself and other customer service people, we would laugh about those people and their stupid things over drinks and everything. It was
thankfully Kumiko does not have a person yet that is just like, hey, I'm going to bend your ear over and over again.
Well, Suzume was about to be that.
She was close.
She's very close.
No, but like the worst version of Suzume, where it's I'm actually just lonely and I want to have your attention, you know?
No. You know, see, Suzume was already that. Was already that.
I mean, yeah.
She literally kicked Sally out of the conversation that she was having so that she could talk to Kumiko right then and there.
Right. No, wait, yeah,
to talk about Sally's problem, basically. like
yeah, no, that's pretty
Suzume
bad.
has already got that immaturity thing there. The thing is that she has another side to her is that she genuinely does care. She is not very good at using those tools, but she is also actually using her tools.
Right. The immaturity has been able to stick around thus far because she is effective in the way that can kind of cover up for it to an extent.
Nah, it's just going to stick around until someone just
calls her
out on it enough and makes it painful, and then she stops. It is the kind of thing where I unfortunately do get a lot of joy in just being like, all right, so this thing you're doing right now, I'm going to
stop whatever this is.
I'm going to cut a line right here and be like, it is not helpful.
You just go up to her and pull a Reina. I'll be blunt.
Yes, I'll be blunt.
The fact that you're helping your friend is good.
That is the only thing about what you're doing is good.
Right. Everything else, change it.
Everything else, stop that. You know, just you can take your personality and your little, fake glasses and go back to practice.
Take the whiplash, not my tempo, but not my vibes.
Not my vibes. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. But hey, we're learning more about the newer characters here and the way that they respond to things differently.
Yep.
And we learned a decent bit about Kumiko in this position.
Right.
And then, of course, we teased Reina a bit. Reina also kind of gave that little bit of that montaged, fast little encouraging thing about showing the ways in which they have grown. I liked that was done in a very like non-linear way, just kind of over the the voiceover of Sally-chan, so that was pretty cool. Or that might have been Kumiko at the time. But that little bit that was kind of rushed over.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool to show that Reina still got the capacity to be encouraging in the midst of them going through their marching practice.
Right.
But yeah.
Good stuff.
Fun episode.
Excited for the season.
Episode. Yep. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.